Hello, this is David Baumblatt from Terrapin's Leadership. Thanks for joining. Today, we're going to be talking about interracial mixed kids. And I always say the main term is white. Usually when it's about mixed kids, it's usually other races want to mix with white. You don't hear it that much the other way around. It's usually white. What does this have to do with the leadership? What does it have to do with faith, family, freedom, the collapse of America? Well, leadership is you lead your people. Who is an American? Who is the Westerners? And once you start living abroad, you're going to realize that citizenship doesn't mean that much anymore. People are changing citizenships. There's anchor babies. It just doesn't mean that much to me anymore. If you say you're an American citizen, or even look at Europeans, everyone's a European now, right? Everyone's a Brit, a French, a German. So similar to gender, you can't really change your race. That's very difficult. So that's a pretty key component. And also remember what they keep saying in terms of identity politics. You hear that a lot. You hear that too from the right. Identity politics. Let's get away from that. No. I did videos before. Take the word of politics out of the way. Get away from your identity. Your identity, your race, your gender, also obviously your nationality, stuff like that. It's an important thing. Identity politics. Well, you take that identity, you look to politics. In fact, we're going to do a quick clip about Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah, identity politics. I said before, why would I want a non-European man to be the leader of a European country? Wouldn't make sense to me. So Vivek, would he allow me to be the leader of India? Probably not. In fact, no way. Why would I want him to be the leader of America? If he could add value, I don't see a big deal him living in America. Not a big fan of him being American citizenship, but then our leader, no way, wouldn't do it. Anyway, let's go on to this. Let's do some news. What's interesting is we think about race is the political hot button race. It's not. Something happened to me today, and also something happened to someone on X who sent me a clip. That person's account has been suspended. And I got a strike. I've been suspended, I've been suspended on X, not X. I have on TikTok 4 times. I'm on my 4th account. The first account blew up. You probably know my story anyway. Today I got a strike. It's a very similar thing. So what am I trying to say? The topic of race, particularly with white people in the West, is a very uncomfortable topic. That right there should ask you why. But that's not the most protected or sensitive topic. The Jews, Adolf Hitler, the Nazis, say that's probably the most taboo topic, more important than whatever blacks or this or that. There's a point to it. But anyway, let's go to the news and we're going to talk about it. Why? Because if we keep saying the word we, right? We Americans, we Europeans, I don't know, we Canadians, we. You hear this word a lot, we. I keep saying, who's we? I don't know who an American is anymore. I would probably say, what did I keep saying? Probably let's start maybe with Christianity, European, meaning the European race, white people, and maybe let's start with freedom, like freedom of speech. That gives us a foundation. Doesn't have to be every single one, but wow, 90% plus, 90% plus. So mixed races, I don't have a problem. I live in China. I think it's great to go out and live in other countries. And oh, by the way, there was already, I should do it. If you look at the video here and you go in the comment section, go look at it after the done. But someone already told unsub, you're unsub. And I commented back and this and back. The point I'm trying to say is, until you live as a racial minority like me, less than 1% in China, I don't think you know what you're talking about in terms of race, meaning how important it is. And it's already down that path, if whites become a racial minority, it's over in America. And so the point being is I go back, I don't mind, be friends with other races. Obviously, I'm a guy, so I'm also loose with having sex with other races, even though I've always considered the white women the most beautiful. But when you talk about having kids, then the subject changes. It's no longer the subject of 2 consenting adults. Once a child is put in there, that child is going to have a citizenship. That child affects the community, the society, and the country. And so when you're talking mixed races or non-white, yeah, it affects who we are as a tribe. So when you go and meet with other people that are non-white from other countries, not a big deal. Yeah, have a blast. Go to Africa. I say this sincerity. Go to Africa. Live in Africa for 5 years. It'll make you appreciate who we are. But that's their country and ours. But once you start bringing, I say this again, we got to start because I could talk a long time about this, but I said it. Two examples. I'm not saying I like either one, but one I can tolerate much better. A white woman says, I like black men. I'm going to leave America and I'm going to move to Africa. I'm going to get an African man. I'm going to have mixed kids and all because she thinks black men are whatever. She prefers them. They're better. They're superior. I get it. So she also prefers that her children have African passports, no dual citizenship with American. So those kids are going to have whatever Nigerian passports. She's going to live in Nigeria, and that's what she's going to do. I'm not saying I'm a fan of that, but in some ways I can respect her. That's what she wants, and that's what she's going to do. That's less than 1%. You know, they're going to come. They want to come to America. She's going to have the mixed kids in America. They're going to get American citizenship. She's probably going to end up leaving the black guy, highest divorce rate. Then the white man is going to have to take care of this whole fucking big garbage pile. We're going to have to take care of this whole big garbage pile. That's why I don't like it. But same thing. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of these cuck white guys that are working for the Chinese government. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point is they're bullshitting. And they go and they get their gook wives and they come back to America or Canada and they're the mixed gook kids. And then the gook kids get a white passport. And no. If you think Chinese women or Asian women are superior as a white man, go live in Asia and have your mixed gook kids have Asian passports. You've said that. You believe Asian women are superior. Okay, then have your mixed gook kids have Asian passports, not white passports. And I could respect it more. Again, that's not what I went to Asia. I mean, I definitely have had a lot of sex with Asian women, and some people can agree or disagree with me on that. I get it. But I do cross the line, or I call the line when you have children. I'm not into it. Never was going there. But if you do it and you keep the kids with these non-Western passports, I look upon it totally differently. Not saying it's great. Anyway, let's go through some of the stuff and see what's happening in the news here. This one I want to talk about. This is where to the younger generations, I feel like to the younger generations, we're going to watch this video quick. I feel many times that, let me get this up. I feel many times the older generations, we've screwed up America. We really have. Let the younger generation do this. This is a clip about this MAGA cuck. They love these wars in Iran. I'm telling you, to the young white men in America, many times don't look at the older people. We screwed America up. I mean, I left 15 years ago. Anyway, but this is just a great point of we're not doing very well. Anyway, let's go on, play this clip.
Watch this. Scott Jennings, the token Republican on CNN, just completely lost his composure and yelled, "Get your hands out of my effing face," to progressive Adam Mockler during a live TV debate on CNN. Look at this right here.
We all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is...
It's true. I mean, we older white men have fucked America up. It is what it is. I'm not saying I'm going to agree with all these younger white kids, but I'm telling you, maybe it's time. Let these younger white kids take charge.
Failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks.
You have the attention span of a gnat?
Homie, I debated you on TV 4 to 6 weeks ago, and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not going your way?
Name one political concession. Name one political concession.
Hey, whoa,
Honestly, I'm not going to have this guy's
everybody hang tight,
Honestly.
okay? No, everybody calm down, okay? We're having a debate. You can respond to the points that he's making.
Can you name a political concession?
Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. 1 second. It's so pathetic when you're seeing this with the guy. I mean, it just looks pathetic. Anyway, this is a good clip. This clip is what I'm telling you. Again, the word nigger is an impolite word, and you should not say it. But the point that my problem with the word nigger is it's become weaponized in America. It's something you should teach your kids, like saying the word dickhead. You know, you don't want your kids to go around and say, hey, dickhead. We get it. Sometimes they play jokes. And I said, when you're angry. But that's how I look at the word nigger, meaning it's a bad word. But this nuclear bomb, if you say the word nigger and you're no, because I can tell you something. You go to Asia, they don't give a fuck. Let's look at this clip. It's pretty interesting.
This is not a fucking. You called me a nigger. Do not call me a nigger. We don't fucking care who you are. No, I am a Nigerian American. Do not call me a nigger. Don't try that. We don't fucking care. Don't try your stuff. She said, you did. You should have stood over here. And I said, nobody told me this. And then she proceeded to call me a nigger. This is not a fucking unit. Go try your stuff for now. But you called me a nigger and you called me a bitch. I wanted to call you a nigger.
It's so funny. You called me a nigger. You called me a bitch. Now, what I do want you to know is I hope you see it. Both of these women have their hair bleached blonde. So even the Asian girls want to be white. The black girls want to even be more white. But I do like it in Asia. They don't have to play this bullshit game that we white people do. I mean, they will put it to your face. And notice the Nigerian. I've said this before. Hopefully you caught this in earlier videos. With other races, but I've just definitely noticed it with blacks. When they go abroad, that's when they really want to emphasize they're American. Like when they're an American, like I'm African American, I'm Nigerian, or I'm Indian American, or I'm Asian American. All that bullshit, because they want to do what the Chinese call Taopad. It's the same that it's equivalent to say play the race card. But when they leave, they don't want to be known as Nigerian because they know Nigerian. Well, you're Africans, and that's when they said, I'm an American. And I'm telling you, at least to the Asians, again, I'm pretty sure it's the same everywhere. I've got a friend living in India, it's the same, but I'm just saying Asia because that's where my experience are. Asian people look at Westerners, me. If you're a black guy, an Indian guy, an Asian guy with an American passport, even if you were born and raised, they don't look at you like the original or the standard American, Canadian, Australian, German, Brit. They want white people. So if you're not white, they don't look at you like that. But those non-whites that are born and raised in the West, that complain about racism all the time, and they like to use their race card, when they go to these other countries, that's when they're like, dude, I'm an American, man, because they know it, because they know they can't use race because their race is low. That's how it is. So they want to say they're American. And the Japanese, they really don't care because they're looking at them as Africans. You might be born and raised in America, you're still African. But interesting. Hey, Gonk, I see you. So anyway, let me go see. Let's go to the next clip here. I could just imagine people with Americans. They're very uncomfortable with these topics. I say again, when I left for China in 2010, the way I'm speaking now, it would be shocking to me. After living in Asia for 15 years, what I'm saying, I have no problem. So, you know, I know it. I guarantee Americans are uncomfortable with this topic, or they're uncomfortable being called a racist, uncomfortable with being called a white supremacist. It doesn't matter, people. I'm telling you, once you go to these places, it does not matter. Anyway, let me go through. Let's go to the next one here. Here's another interesting clip where we see it. 1 second, let me pull this up. All right, hopefully everyone can see this stuff. Let me put it here, make it better. Okay, so whatever. Some guy's trying to say the difference between, this Asian girl born in America, this Asian girl in China. Nope, no difference. I mean, yeah, there is a little difference in culture, but this is where the race card comes in. They're both Asian, end of story, not much different. Next question. Here, well, let's go to this one right here. This one is just a simple topic again. Why are American girls? This is America. I mean, does she not look like an absolute whore? This is why white women can't get married. This is what MAGA too thinks is a beautiful woman. Now, a woman like this, I would have a fun time having sex with her. That's not how I want my wife to act. I don't want my wife to be dressed like that. I don't want my wife to have been ran through by multiple men. But this is even MAGA thinks is cool. Women power, it's beautiful. No, look at her. She's a whore. She's a prostitute. She's probably not have sex with her.
You are my candy girl.
I'm not interested in
You got
women.
me wanting you.
This is the whore. This is the whores of the West. All right, let's go to this one. Talking about race mixing, Heidi Klum's daughter. Look at the white daughter. So in case you didn't know about Heidi Klum, she had whatever. I guess the guy was Seal. The black guy, she had a black guy and a white guy. Look at the difference in daughters right there. Besides, look at those boobs, man. Now, of course, I'm okay a little bit with this bikini because she is a bikini, but wow, that's even revealing. But whatever, it's a bikini. But just look at the looks on that. Another reason, don't mix. I mean, if you like black girls, you like black guys. I'm not a fan, especially from girls. I'm not a fan of them having sex. But I'm telling you, try to draw the line with kids. Don't have kids. It's not a good combination. All right, let's go to the next one here. Okay, this is where Vivek. Let's hear what he's saying. I still cannot believe how this is the MAGA. So let's hear what he says here.
I know that is different than saying he's the Son of God. So I'll be very honest. It's not a hard question at all. So in our faith tradition, Jesus Christ is a Son of God. I know that is different than saying he's the Son of God. But that is my view of Jesus Christ. He's got our family. Do we worship in churches? Yes, we do. Is that compatible with our faith? Yes, it is. One true God in many forms. So
either way, I just got to stop and hold this. How did this happen? Remember, this guy's not liberal. He's not a Democrat. This is MAGA. Why would I want a non-European man to be the leader? He's a political leader, the governor, the president, whatever you want to call it, a politician. Why would I want him to be the leader of a European country? Do you think you're going to go to India and become a citizen, let alone being a politician, or let alone being the FBI director equivalent in India? Never going to happen. So again, why? Why would I want an Indian man? Why would I want a non-European man to be the leader in a European country? Not for me, no thanks. All right, let's go to the next one here. All right, hopefully everyone can see that. Yeah, do men actually like these kind of pants? I mean, yeah, if she's a prostitute, if she's a whore, if I'm having a one-night stand with a girl, yeah, it's sexy. Do I want my daughter wearing that? Do I want my wife wearing that? Do I want my mom wearing that in public? No, that's a whore. I don't want, that's what a prostitute wears. So no, this is again where MAGA, they think it's cool that women are sexy. No, she's a whore. It's not into that. All right, let's go to the next one. Singapore, since we're on the topic of mixed race, Singapore, and boy, these people are white worshiping. Just so you know, Singapore, man, these people want to become white. They are, and some of the most racist people around too, Singaporeans. They love to act like they're white. Anyway, let's go to the next clip. Okay, this is interesting. So remember I said about this? This was a clip that I just got today. And so let's see it. Hopefully everyone can see. The sun will rise again. They're not wearing the swastika patch. I don't even know if, I guess this might be a symbol for the far right. I don't even know. I think it is. Well, whatever. It looks like a nice picture to me. I put this picture here on TikTok, and I've gotten a strike, a warning, and I submitted an appeal. The appeal was immediately denied, and that was blocked. And so what am I trying to say here? We'll go to video number 2. You'll see quick. But the hot topic is not Negroes or race mixing. It comes again. You talk about the Jews, it's about Adolf Hitler. That is probably the most verboten topic around. Don't think I'm wrong? Well, this is also what happened on X. So I sent that, and then all of a sudden, this account, hopefully, can everyone see it? This account now has been suspended. They sent something. Now, this one had a picture of two girls. This is the reply that I sent. They had two white girls who looked like whores, and they had two white girls who had the Nazi SS patch on them, like they were Nazi girls, beautiful white girls. And I basically had the two whores on the left are going to be childless, and the two girls on the right, boom, boom, boom. Well, that account was suspended. And again, that picture that I just told you, I just got a strike today on TikTok. So makes you wonder, what is the most sensitive posting stuff you can have? I see Gonk, they never look at the appeals. They just auto-deny all of them, eBay included. Yeah, I mean, it was just boom. I put that picture up, but here's the problem. If you look at TikTok, I mean, they got porn on TikTok. They got a lot of raunchy stuff on TikTok. The picture that I did, it didn't even, I mean, yeah, maybe it has correlations with Adolf Hitler, but hopefully everyone saw that picture that I delete already. But anyway, that was immediately, what's going on, whatever. Anyway, okay. This is basically the West. Basically, white women have turned into prostitutes. This is what we are. This is what feminism has created in the West. Prostitutes. I'm telling you, this is what the West, this is why white women are the biggest whores in the world. It's a horrible reputation. And that is what feminism has created women. Look at her. And she earns $1 million. This is what the West is, just creating prostitutes. All right, let's go to this one. People think I'm wrong about this. This is some, and by the way, this is from, hopefully everyone can see this. This is from a MAGA girl right here, Emily. She's MAGA man. And she's like, the day you raise your hand to a woman, that's the day you're no longer a man. Really? Get ready for this video coming up. What did I say? If a woman acts like a man, she's going to get treated like a man. You women want the right to vote? Welcome to equality. I don't play this bullshit. This here is in a traditional world. We in the West do not live in a traditional society. We live in a feminist society. Why? Because women can vote. End of story. And so that's why you can't use the race card. You can't use the woman's card. It's equality. We don't care. Don't think so? Look at this clip from Germany. And oh, by the way, before you show it, these men in this clip aren't the typical cuck white German men. These are Eastern European men, or could be Turkish men living in Germany, because the typical white man in Germany is a pussy. He'll never do this. So these guys, you could hear the accent, them talking German. These are Eastern European, maybe Kazakh men, maybe Turkish men. What do I think? They did the exact thing right, because what did I keep saying? The most spoiled women on this planet are white women. Horrible. It's a horrible reputation to have. I mean, that's why white women are called Karen. You are the most spoiled women on this planet. Are you proud of that? That's what feminism has gotten you? The most spoiled women on the planet. Here we go. Let's take a look at this clip. And I totally agree with this. Let's bring this down. All right, here we go.
Олег.
Whoa!
Я говорил, Олег, блядь. Не провоцируй. Сука ебаная. Олег, уйди.
So hat not Provenzon. They're not, so these are not the typical German men. These are, without a doubt, these guys sound like they're Eastern European men living in Germany. A German man is not going to do that because they're pussies. These Eastern European men, good for them. They put her in her place. You don't put your fucking hands on another man. You act like a man, you're going to get treated like a man.
Уйди. Уйди оттуда. Олег.
One more time. There we go. That's what we need more of in America. All right, we're going to begin. Let's go. Spartan Cigar. Emily says travel addicts, so no time for family. I don't know who Emily is. I know that trying to sell the Warmark documents when I still punched out, still got banned. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's go through some videos today. The first one was, let's go through the first video, because what's interesting is the first video, I don't agree with either one. I'm not a fan of J.D. Vance at all. In fact, I'm not a fan of Marco Rubio. I'm really originally a fan of Donald Trump, and it's just gone downhill. It's just going downhill. But I look at the other Republican lineups. Shit. What about the Democrats? No, not interested. Again, I left America, not really interested. This ship is sinking. But anyway, on this clip, I'm not a fan of J.D. Vance. First of all, he says he's a Christian. Oh, wow. And then he marries a Hindu. Well, that's great. And he's all about, man, I'm a West Virginia hillbilly. So now you're going to have brown kids? Well, that legacy of being the white hillbillies, that's over. So I'm not a fan of J.D. Vance. Something about him doesn't sit right with me in many ways. But also, I'm not a fan of this commentator here who's used the term again. Again, if you're a white man in the West and you're nervous or you're afraid of being called a white supremacist or racist, I'd say grow up. I mean, these guys are cocks. So this guy's saying it's a retarded video, but meaning it's retarded from both sides. But anyway, let's watch it.
Why, you may ask? Because so Vice President J.D. Vance announced that he's expecting another child with his wife, Usha Vance, and surprisingly, but
yeah, he's going to have a shit skin. That's going to be his fourth shit skin kid. The kids aren't white. They're not European. They're shit skins. They're Indians.
Not surprisingly, MAGA is outraged about this. Why, you may ask? Because
well, the reason being is, first of all, look at her. Think about it. If you're an Indian man and you find it insulting that I said you're a shit skin, well, I don't even know who J.D. Vance's wife was. I don't know her name. Guess what? She said, Indian men, not for me. You guys are shit skins. Then she said, India, not for me. That's a shithole. Think about it. If you're an Indian man, this Indian woman said, I want the white passport, the white man, and I always say white kids. They're mixed kids. They're never going to be white, but the best. Do you think she is upholding or respecting Indian men? And nope, not at all. She looks at you guys as shit skins. Okay, now I look at J.D. Vance. And not only is J.D. Vance, if he was a private individual, not exactly happy about this is our vice president. This is our role model. This is our leader who says, yes, I believe Indian women are the best. That's who he chose his wife. Well, then fucking move to India, buddy. Have a blast. I'm in China. Move to India. Have a blast. So, but the point is, either way, it's embarrassing.
they support J.D. Vance. Well, they don't support the fact that he married an Indian American and that his children are brown. And you would think J.D. Vance would be there for his wife, defend her, protect his children. No, what does this guy do? He continues to publicly embarrass his wife and his children so publicly. It's pathetic.
Well, I think he embarrasses more Americans. It's an embarrassment. This guy's the vice president who's going to run for president, and he said Christianity, and he chooses Hinduism, and he doesn't choose a white woman. And yet, no, it's an embarrassment. The whole thing's embarrassing. Like I said, when you do these mixed kids things, because it's usually the white guy or the white girl. Let's face it. When it comes to mixing, everybody wants to mix with white. In Asia, just so you know, it's called Hunshuar for Chinese, Haifu for Japan. 99% of the time when they talk about mixed kids, it's with a white. So nobody wants mixed with. So the point, it's embarrassing on both ends. The white guy or the white woman, it's embarrassing. You look like a loser. You look like a loser. But then the other person has also said, nah, they don't want to be Asian or Indian or black. They said, fuck those people. I want to be white. It's an embarrassment on both sides. You could be friends, though, when I say that. I think it's awesome if you said, David, I have a black friend and we get along great. Awesome. Learn from him, have it. But I'm telling you, once you have kids, it's no longer two consenting adults. We got to deal with that fucking product. I mean, when you bring kids into this world and those kids have a citizenship of our country, then it is our problem or benefit. It could be a benefit. You create great kids for society. We could say thank you. You create garbage pail kids for society. Well, then go fuck yourself. Go back to the country. So J.D. Vance likes Indian women so much. Move to India. Give his kids Indian citizenship if he thinks India is so great. As a private individual, that is what it is. The vice president? No, not having it. Not into that. Again, Donald Trump was sort of like a hurrah. I think Sarda said in 2016, you're right. He was kind of like, wow, he's just gone downhill. But all the other people, none. Are you kidding me? The MAGA people are like, dude, I can't wait till Marco Rubio and JD Vance. I'm not a fan of them at all. Not at all. I'm telling you, this system is going down. Give it time. Anyway, let's finish this.
Pathetic the way he tries to convince all of us that his children are actually white and that he doesn't support immigration from countries like India, even though his wife is Indian, his children are Indian, and he allows these people in the MAGA white supremacist cult to
Okay, the MAGA white supremacist cult. This is the white kid here. This is why I laugh. Because when you live as a racial minority like me, everything changes to include everything. This white kid speaking here probably was born and raised in a white American environment his whole life. He's talking out his asshole. What does he know about being a racial minority? So when he talks about the white supremacist cult, I'm telling you, the racism in the non-Western world makes white men look like saints. Like saints. But I just so point is, I think it's a joke either way from this guy and also JD Vance.
disrespect his wife and his children. What a pathetic, small little man JD Vance really is.
Okay, so we're gonna go. I remember something about the Sikh girl, and she wants to be white. Spartan said DNA's going up. Oh yeah, let's watch this clip, and I'll tell you my feelings, especially in Asia. Look at this girl.
Meanwhile, my mom gave up everything to have.
Okay, so she's mixed. Obviously, she's mixed.
My dad gave up absolutely nothing to have kids. Meanwhile, my mom gave up everything to have kids. My mom is actually.
Okay, she's saying that her white dad's a shitbag and her gook mom is awesome. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Actually, like my dad's servant because my dad, growing up, he never cooked a single meal for us. If my mom refused to cook or if they got in a fight, yeah, we just had to eat our own food because my dad wasn't capable of cooking for us. Adding on to that, not only did my mom have to take care of every single domestic responsibility around the house, she also had to go back to.
So again, the message so far is gook mom's good, white dad bad. Let's keep going.
School, get her degree, and get a job and work after having kids. So she had two jobs. She had to go to work and then she had to come home and take care of the family. My dad, on the other hand, he's actually owned his own business and worked from home the entire time they've been married. And yet, I guess he's always been too busy to ever step in or help out. Despite being home all day. A couple years after my parents got married, they moved back to the US, back to my dad's hometown where he lived only 20 minutes away from his parents. Every time my parents would fight, my dad would leave and go back to his mommy's house. One thing my dad always wanted to make sure of is that my mom suffered, and my mom suffered through all of it.
So there was a part about her saying the white dad is kind of a pussy. I have seen that. I have seen a lot of the white men go to Asia to be at the lower testosterone level, meaning they can't get girls in the West and they get girls in Asia much easier. So there's a lower. Again, I didn't have problems getting girls in the West. I didn't go to Asia for the girls. It's a nice benefit, though. I'm not saying that. I definitely enjoy my sexual time in Asia. But these are. But the point is, she's saying like he's a bit of a mommy's boy. That could make a little sense, though. But anyway, we'll finish the story and I'll tell you my thoughts.
In my dad's mind, suffering means that you're working hard. So he always wanted to make sure that my mom was suffering because that means she was working hard and he didn't want to see her be lazy or lay around. To be completely honest, my dad has actually had an amazing lifestyle because of my mom, because my dad can just leave whenever he wants. He can go do his hobbies whenever he wants, and my mom will always be stuck here to take care of the house. My dad does not have to cook. He doesn't have to clean. He doesn't have to do anything around the house because he has somebody to do it for him. The worst part about all of this is that actually my mom makes more money than my dad. And my mom has actually provided our health insurance the entire time we lived in the US. Beware of dating a loser man if you don't want to end up in the same situation as my mom.
Okay, so again, she's basically saying my gook mom is good, my white dad is bad. What's my take, being a China expert? My take is your gook mother hit the lotto. She got a white passport, a white man, and for lack of a better term, white kids. Even though I look at her as still a gook, she wants to pass for white. So your mom hit the lotto. You, my little gook girl, should be very thankful for your dad because he gave you the greatest gift you could ever get, and that is white DNA. You think I'm wrong? Ask this gook girl if she wants to go back to Asia. Hell no. Ask this gook girl if she wants to date gook men. Hell no. So she's all about being white. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to argue with you. Maybe your white dad was a lazy, do nothing, and your mom was hardworking. I get it. But in the big picture, who won and who lost? Your mom hit the jackpot. White passport, white man, and white mixed kids. You, my little gook girl, you, as much as you think your dad is a loser, he gave you the best thing you could ever get, and that's white DNA. You think I'm wrong? Then why don't you get an Asian man then? Find an Asian man and have Asian kids. I guarantee this girl will only date white men. Only date white men. So anyway, it's this is the kind of bullshit though is taught in the West, and white men and white women. I see it all the time. And many of this is communist stuff too. It has a lot of and the white men and white women eat this shit up. The same thing, and people like, I don't tolerate white supremacists. You're a white supremacist. No, man, I'm not a white supremacist. Dude, you can't even define what a white supremacist is. Good luck. Try to define it. But I can tell I have no sympathy for that. And I've said the reason why I emphasize mixed kids is they are the worst. We're going to do some more clips, but I'm going to explain this to you. Let's take a trip down psychology lane, which is a key element for leadership, elements of psychology. Do you want to know why mixed kids are many times the abomination? Now, there's two types of mixed. There's the mixed in the subcategory, and there's the mixed in the outer categories. The subcategory would be two Europeans. Think of a French person and a German person having kids, both Europeans. Think of a Chinese person and a Japanese person having kids. They're both Asian. Think of a Jamaican and a Nigerian having kids. That's not so bad. Why? Because normally the offspring can live in either country, and most people won't tell the difference. Even in Asia, if a Chinese and a Japanese have a mixed child, as long as they don't, the culture, the accent, the language, if they just see them, they will pass in China, they will pass in Japan. Same thing if a white dude, Frenchie, and a white dude, German, make a kid, you're not going to tell the difference yet. So that's different. We're talking about mixed from out, when Asian, and it's almost always European. That's everybody wants the white DNA. So it's African European, Asian European, Indian European, Arab European. You get my story. Abominations. Why? Very simple. This is why it is unnatural, even in the biblical sense. And I'm not a biblical scholar, but even in the biblical sense, here's why. We're going to use common sense psychology number one. Take away society, because they all agree with me. Take away society. Take away the mothers and the fathers. Take away other people who all want to categorize people when you're mixed. Are you white? Are you this and that? Take away that. Just talk with the people that are mixed and ask them, what are you? And they all want to fit in a racial category. They don't want to come up with a new category. What do I mean by that? Well, we've heard of the term mulatto, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe mulatto is a black and a white mix. And sometimes we call them mulattoes, but really they look black to me. They're black. But the point being is if you talk with mixed kids, and I'm more of an expert on what? White men, Asian women, because that's what you see all the time in Asia. A white dude, an Asian woman, and they have the mixed kid. And the mixed kids, 99% of the time, want to be white. But if they can't be white, well, now they're back to Asian. But why can't there be another breed? Even look at very few. I mean, even at West Point, our, what's the word I'm looking for? Our mascots are the mules. And the mules are the combination of a horse and a donkey, but even the mules can't breed. So even in nature, there's very few hybrid breeds that could sustain and exist. So if being mixed is so cool, why aren't mixed kids saying, I don't want to be white, I don't want to be black, I want to make a whole new race of whatever the fuck we are, mulatto, I guess. And I don't know what the term is for I know what the term for mixed race is, but then there's a mixed race with white and black and Asian, and you get my point. Of course, society, we also expect them to say, what race are you? And if we can't figure it out, then it's called mixed, which is whatever the fuck it is, black, Indian, mixed. And it's a negative term. Nobody wants to be just mixed. They want to fit in. But if mixed race was so good, why don't they come up with their own race? They don't. They want to fit in one of the races. And if you want to fit in one of the races, then stop fucking mixing races. And guess what? When these kids are mixed, guess what they don't want to do? They don't want to mix kids. They want to stay with white. You show me, I see it all the time, like that goop girl, 99% of the time she wants to get a white man. 99% of the time she wants to get a white man. Same thing if the mixed kid is an Asian kid. The problem is Asian men, it's hard to get white girls. But you've seen it too. You've seen the mixed black people. Who do you think they prefer? White. So as much as we say mixed is cool, forget society that wants to classify you. What race are you? Because we don't even recognize a mixed race. Just talk to the mixed people. They don't want to be in their own class. They want to belong to one of the races. Then why the fuck did you mix if it was so great? I hope you got that point. It has a very common sense based on psychology. You're not going to hear this stuff. Why? For the same reason today that my TikTok got banned immediately, and also that post on X got banned immediately. Because what is the most verboten topic? This whole thing about Hitler and Nazis, and it's about also promoting racial purity. That's why I guarantee you could do programs on how many times have you heard any negative propaganda or news or whatever about the negatives of mixed race kids? Good luck. Flip it. How much positive propaganda have you found on mixed race kids? It's everywhere. Look at fucking Harry. Remember when Harry and Meghan Markle, they thought it was the coolest thing. So everything's about mixed. But then when they finally had the kid and said, great, you're mixed. You're a new race. Create this new race. It's like America, right? Create this new experiment. Create this new race. And what do the kids say? I don't want to be this new race. I want to be white. Well, then why the fuck did you mix? The kids want to be white. Society wants them to either be white or we look at them and say, no, you're fucking black. Sorry. So society doesn't recognize mixed race as a racial category. The only thing we have is one thing, and that's if you can't figure anything out, we just say mixed, which basically says you're fucked. Literally, even go to the government. What is your race? And even go to the mixed kids. Say, do you prefer to be white or black or Asian, or do you prefer just to be mixed? They say, I don't want to be mixed because I don't know what the fuck that is. I want to belong. They want to belong to a race. And what's the best race to belong to? White. They're like, I want to be white. And that's why the mixed race kids are the fucking worst. I dealt with them in Asia. Why? Because 99% of mixed race Asian kids, the white dad or that, but whatever, it's white in Asia. Few times it's a white woman. But you get it because the Asian people, they only want white. That's another thing. They only want white to mix. So it's white and Asian. And 99% of the time, what do the mixed kids want to be? I'm white. And when a guy like me says, you look Asian to me, fuck you, asshole, they get offended, very offended. because not only are they offended, but they feel like they have proof. No, you're wrong. My father's white. I'm 50% white. I belong in this white club. Well, if your dad thought that having white children was so important, he wouldn't be with a gook mom. He chose the gook mom because maybe he thought it was more important for you to be a gook. I don't know, maybe that. If your father thought it was really important that his kids be white, he probably would have got a white woman. Let's look at some other videos, but I'm telling you, they are the worst. Mixed kids, same thing with the, remember I talked about Trevor Noah? Trevor Noah's mixed. I believe his father is white, Swiss, and his mom's black, South African. They are the worst. And don't fool yourself, though. These mixed race people, they look down upon the blacks or the Asian. They look down upon them because that's why they find it so insulting. If you said, hey, are you black? Are you Asian? Hey, man. They might joke like Trevor Noah likes to do a lot of these jokes. They don't like it. Why do you think Trevor Noah left Africa and went to America? Because he wanted to hang around with white people. Think about it. If he preferred to hang around black people, don't you think he should have stayed in Africa? But he said, no, I'm going to go to America. And then he plays the race card to make money. But don't fool yourself. He is so thankful he has white DNA. So thankful. Same thing with this goop girl. Think I'm wrong? This story right here happens in China. It's so. What I like is when I see these foreigners, white people come to China and they say stuff like that, I can validate bullshit or true. This, absolutely true what this guy's about to say.
Blue-eyed child, stay away from Chinese. I'm not racist here, but if you have a blonde hair, blue-eyed child, stay away from Chinese people. I was at a hotel lobby. My maid is holding my kid. So it's not even me experiencing this firsthand, otherwise I would have reacted differently. But my maid is holding my child. I turn around and I just see some Chinese woman, literally with her phone 6 inches away from my baby's face, bro. Obviously, my maid is confused because she doesn't really know what to do. Until I intervene and I say, don't let her record, give me the baby. And then the other time it happened, I was at the swimming pool and I see a girl pointing her camera right at us. Now, she's doing it from a bit of a distance. I don't know, 5 steps away, 10 steps away. But I know she's doing it. She's like, bro, you didn't even ask.
I'm going to tell a quick story of my time in Boeing, and I'm going to defend the Chinese a little bit. Same thing happened. We had a Boeing family, white couple, blonde hair, blue-eyed kids. They went to Shanghai, and they were on an expat assignment. Same thing, and the guy was pissed. He goes, I take my little blonde hair, blue-eyed kids, and I don't like it anymore. They're fucking in their face. They're touching their skin, touching their hair. He goes, it's nuts. There's a lot of times, too, that you'll see white people that aren't, I mean, I was offered modeling contracts in China. Like, you could be a fucking yo-yo white guy. You're a model in China. You're a model. I did movies in China. It's pathetic. So the part being is I'm going to defend the Chinese a little bit. It's going to sound weird, but they just can't control themselves. I mean, the more blonde, blue-eyed, white-skinned you are, they just can't control themselves. They're just like, and so it's not like America where that person would be a pedophile. Like, you're a pedophile. The Chinese, because I can tell you, so you got a black kid, they'd be like, oh my God, there's a monkey. There's a monkey over there. You're like, it's not a monkey. It's a black kid from Africa. 你确定吗？看起来一个猴子，觉得你从非洲吗？看起来就是一个猴子。No, that's a black person, man. Oh, okay. But if it's a white kid, blonde hair, blood, they just fucking can't help themselves. They're like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing. I got to take a picture of it. I got to touch your hair. I got to look in your eyes. So it's annoying. I mean, I guess you could say it could be cool beginning. Like I said, there's no doubt about it. When I first got to China, you feel kind of like a minor rock star, and your ego, you do enjoy it, ego. After a while, though, it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's just fucking uncomfortable, and you want to be around white people because it's not only that minority, you could say minorities are so small, 1%, but it's just the everyday. But anyway, that story is totally true. But I'm going to defend the Chinese. They're not doing it because they're demonic. They're just, when it comes to white, these people are just Google Gaga for white people. They just can't control themselves. Because I'm telling you, if you have a black kid there, it's the opposite. They're just gonna be like, it's not gonna be like that. Anyway, let's go. Let's talk this one video here. Oh, remember I talked about how in terms of the races. Oh, let's do this clip. I'm telling you, these mixed kids are the worst. Now, a lot of you guys are gonna look at this girl and say, "Oh my God, she's so hot." I'm not saying I wouldn't have sex with her. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you, don't have kids with her. And I'm telling you, these are some of these. It is more harm than good for Western societies.
The spin for the camera. Oh my God! What is
Mayali.
Maya? Can I get your hand real quick? The spin for the camera. Oh my God! What is your ethnicity?
I'm Korean and white.
Oh my God, do you speak any foreign languages at all?
Just English.
Notice what she says. She's Korean and white. Why? Because it's hard to say American now. What's American? So but we know what Korean is. Korean is Asian. So she's got to emphasize white, even though it's American or whatever. She's got to emphasize white.
English, great. So, like, what's like the hottest language in the world?
I think French.
Je suis en train de parler en français avec toi. Tu l'aimes bien ou non? Parce que là, je suis en train de... You like that? That's a good thing. You like that? Ah.
I love that.
Tell me this. What are the 3 top qualities a man has to have for you to give him a chance to take you on a date?
Notice this guy. I don't know. Maybe because I live in Asia all the time. I'm not saying I wouldn't have sex with that girl, but after living in Asia a while, you like I would immediately look at her as you're Asian, you're a mutt, you're mixed, and your DNA is not at the level of white people. You're not a white person, so you're not a purebred. And however crazy that sounds to you, once you live in Asia, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But she's not a purebred. Now, there are ugly white women. So, yeah, I probably would have sex with this girl over an ugly white woman. But in terms of having kids with her, she's not a purebred. She's a mixed.
Okay, flowers.
Flowers.
I like flowers. I like initiative. Send the Uber. Make the plans. Don't ask me.
So guys don't try enough nowadays.
Yeah.
The bar's in hell, basically.
The bar is lower than hell.
How has your dating experience been so far? What are you, like 21? You're 18.
Oh, I'm
19?
21.
Wow.
And I'm sure she only dates white guys.
Wow. So how's it been so far?
I don't have date. I've had one boyfriend. No dating
in your life.
Yeah.
Was he Korean?
No.
Was he French?
He's Armenian.
Armenian. Bottom says you says. I speak Armenian.
Something up with that. Give it time.
Oh, wow.
Armin Sarukian, shout out. So tell me this. Why do you think it is that so many men don't want to do that for women nowadays?
Because dating is not normal.
So again, the point being is she's mixed. Do you think she wants to live in Korea? Number one. Do you think she wants to date Korean men? No. Do you think she wants her Korean passport? No. So what does she prefer? White. Then why the hell have mixed kids then? Meaning what I'm trying to tell you is this, there's been some intimate conversations I've had in Asia, and it would shock you as white people. But they know that their DNA is moving up with mixed kids. Well, if their DNA is moving up, what does that mean with your DNA? Your DNA is moving down. Don't believe me? Then have a mixed kid. Have fun with it. But I'm telling you, when you have a mixed kid, they'll even tell you they don't want to have their non-white ethnic group. You want to know why? Take a look.
Mexican, dude.
I want to be brown.
You're brown. You're Mexican, dude. You're brown, Liv. Daddy's brown.
I don't want to be Mexican.
You don't want to be Mexican?
Yeah.
What do you want to be?
Notice the mom, you're Mexican. Does the mom want to live in Mexico? Nope. Is the kid going to learn Spanish? Whatever. Probably a white woman who's just a very low DNA white woman getting a Mexican man. And look, she created the child. And here the mom is, she's like, I think your father Mexican is the best. And guess what the child is like? No. Same thing. I see these mixed Asian people. The Asian mom is, do you want to learn Asian culture and Asian language? Fuck no, mom. I want American. I want to learn English. I want to go to America, and I want to date white American boys. Well, that's what you created. What do you think? Same thing. Anyway, let's talk about this. Again, we're going to these mixed. The mixed kids are the worst. I've had the worst experiences in Asia with mixed people. Why? Well, when I'm dealing with Asian people, they're Asian and I'm white. It's very simple. Then you get the mixed people in, and guess what I think of them as? Asian. I talk Chinese to them. The amount of anger they get is through the roof. Why? Because they feel insulted. Why? Because I'm talking to them in Chinese and I said, you look Asian. They find it insulting. Why? Because they look at gook DNA as garbage. They look at white DNA as the gold. And so I pointed out to them and they don't like it. Happens all that. If you think I'm making these stories like these are one thing, this is like 99% of the time. It's happens all the time now.
Oxford City fail. Ha ha ha. As a mixed Asian woman, I get so many comments. They say Oxford City fail. Ha ha ha, Oxford City. And my question to you is, you're citing a source in a stranger's comments. How has that worked for you as a strategy?
No, I'm not citing a source. I'm just saying living in Asia, I see it. And it's the same thing, but let her speak. Like I said, her I would deport this girl back to Asia. That would be my remedy for her.
Does it make you more attractive? Does it make you more dateable? I actually want to know. Because that study that you're citing doesn't even exist. You did not read it. I did, though. It's a paper not about dating preferences, but about analyzing how Asian women were used as props in advertisements in the 1960s for white men. And that's what you're doing to me. You're using me as a prop. You didn't read it. You heard Oxford City, Asian woman, white man, and you ran with it. You ran with it to TikTok and to some Asian woman's comments, and you became the cautionary tale that you're citing. That's impressive. So what is the insult here? That I'm mixed, that I'm German, Chinese, that I speak multiple languages, that I've lived in different countries, that I contain more than one world in my entire existence? Because I don't.
No, you look like a gook to me. You look like the typical gook to me. That your dream, just like probably your gook mother, probably married a white German man, is you still want to have that white passport, white man, and white kids. You're probably the same 99% of gook people, because as much as you're mixed, your gook DNA still comes out. Think I'm wrong? Once you live in Asia like me, I'm telling you, it's as clear as day.
See that as a disadvantage. People try to be what I am, not in a sense of what I look like. Well, maybe sometimes people try to be what Asian women look like, but more in a sense of they.
Not really. And that's another thing too. I don't know what it is, but when I see these mixed kids, they have a sense of arrogance. And the reason they have an arrogance is they compare themselves to Asians. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Look at her hair. Notice her hair is blonde. Whether her hair is bleached or not, her hair is naturally a lighter color than the black Asian color. So and this is why Asian people sometimes don't like these people. These people look upon Asian people as having superior DNA, white DNA. And because of that, they have an arrogance with them. I see it all the time.
They try to understand multiple cultures. They try to learn multiple languages, and I have such a privilege of already having that in my life. You need an academic paper, which doesn't exist, by the way, to make you feel better about yourself. And my existence somehow threatens that. I live rent-free in your head, and so do many other Asian women and mixed children, and we don't even need to try.
No, I'm still the same way. Like I said, she's dreaming white passports, white men, white kids. Here's something. We're not going to do the whole clip. This is a sad story, true. This is a Chinese couple living in Canada. The Chinese man is infertile. And the Chinese woman says, I guess we're going to need to get a sperm donor. And the Chinese man says, okay. And the Chinese wife says, I want to get a white man's sperm. Right? Like, to all these people, does it matter, man? Love is love. Race is race. It's not real, right? It's fucking matters. And now the Chinese man is like, yeah, why? Why do you want a what? Because your Asian Chinese wife wanted to get a white man from the very start. She couldn't get it, so she got an Asian man. I told you, sperm banks in China do not allow foreign men to give sperm in sperm banks in China. If they did, the white men's sperm, the foreign sperm, would be sold out. Sold out.
Who's saying, my wife. All right, what's up, my brothers? So in this video, we have a gentleman who's saying, my wife has suggested we get a white sperm donor. They're both Chinese, by the way. She's 35, he's 35. I'm worried she was never attracted to me. Let's dive into this message here. My wife and I have been married for 4 years. For the past 3.5 years, we've been trying to conceive. It has been tough for both of us. We're both really busy jobs. We have a dog that has been sick, plus our commutes to our jobs are both an hour long, so it just adds a lot of stress to our relationship. A lot of complicate life, justify why right off the bat, right? The frustration that has been going on now is that we haven't been able to get pregnant. We have gone to fertility doctors. They haven't said that either of us are infertile, so everything should be working. We have started really tracking my wife's cycles. I've done some yoga, eating healthier, and getting sunlight. We even planned our trips to Florida during the time my wife is ovulating. We have not tried IVF. It is really expensive and it would completely eat away at our emergency fund, and it usually requires multiple tries as well. I don't know what it costs where this guy lives. I'm assuming he lives in the States, but I think here in Canada, they advertise it on the radio here for like 20 grand. He goes on to say,
we're not even going to watch the whole video. First of all, it's a sad video for the Chinese guy. But to many Chinese men, or we're just going to say Asian men, if you don't know this, or you're sort of thinking in your mind, hey, is it true? Do Asian women have a fetish for white men? I'll put that to rest to you. Not all Asian women, just 99.99% of Asian women have a fetish for white men. We're talking sex, having mixed kids, down the line. I've always said if I was an Asian man, you stay in Asia. If I was an Asian woman, you go to the West, because Asian men have a tough time in the West. I've said before, black women and Asian men, least attractive people. Just do the study. It's not me, and I know it sounds insensitive. It is what it is. So Asian men are having rough times in the West. I would stay in Asia, where the competition is lower, because the countries in Asia, there is a lot of legalities and regulation to protect Asian men from foreign men. Because I mean, if the floodgates were open, I mean, white men would probably take out most of the Asian women. So they protect them. But if you're an Asian woman, well, you're a kid in a candy store in the West. Why? You have access to white men. So anyway, let me go on to the next thing. This is about Japan. I like Japan. I've always said, if you're going to go to an Asian country, even though I get the Southeast Asia, you get the beach, the sun, and it's cheaper. But I've always said, overall, the creme de la creme of Asia, we'll just say DNA, it's Japan. And guess what? They love white men.
特別感っていうか
白人は OK いじめとか差別受けたことあります
生まれてきた
So again, she's mixed black, and I'm telling you, she does not live a good life in Japan.
なかったって思った時もありました。
もし機会があれば外国人と付き合ってみたいと思いますか？
内面の相性が良かったら。
内面でご自身にとって一番大事なところは何ですか？
思いやりがお互いにできること。思います。
その理由教えてもらえますか？
普通にかっこいいし、顔濃い人が好きやから、彫り深い人が好きです。
はいはい。結構ロマンチックな感じがするんで。
Now, I do want to defend Asian women. I mean, the amount of sex that I've had in Asia, I'll probably never have more sex than that in my life. I mean, you get spoiled as a white man. I've said this about white women. The DNA of white women is what I prefer, which is why I draw the line with kids. But how do Asian women treat me compared to how white women treat me? Asian women treat me nice. It really is. I do have, so I get, and I've made these stories before. If you're not interested in having children and you're just interested in finding a good woman that could treat you good, you know, whatever, take care of you, give you sex and all that stuff. And no, you don't need to give her a passport. This whole thing, you don't even need to give her money. But if the children thing is out, because I do know, I told you stories before, white guys that are divorced, they've had their white kids, and they've had it with white women, had it. They're in a different boat. And now I think them with Asian women, it is what it is. You know, go where you're treated the best, where you're treated with respect. And I'm telling you, to the white women, I like your DNA, but your culture with feminism, with you are the most spoiled women on the planet, and your hatred for white men, are you kidding me? No one treats you better than white men. Look at the countries that we've built. That's why everyone wants to live here. But the attitude of white women is basically dog shit. I mean, it's horrible. Asian women, I'm telling you, I get spoiled. I'm not going to go through all the stores, but I get spoiled. So if you're not into that children thing, the story changes how I view Asian women. Just want to go back. Yeah, so Gonk, you're like a friend of mine. You know, he had 2 kids. He's divorced, same age. His ex-wife, a white woman, basically destroyed him in the divorce, nagging. I mean, he's like, fuck white women. He goes, I ain't having kids anymore. He even got, snipped. He got the operation. He's like, I don't want any more kids. And he goes, I just want a woman that's going to treat me with respect, that's going to sexually satisfy me, that's going to shut the fuck up when I tell her to shut up. You know, it has that bit of obedience. He fell in love with Asian women. Can I vouch for that story? I can. I mean, the stories that I could tell you about my relationship with Asia, I don't think people would believe me. I think white women would absolutely hate me. But I still defend white women when it's time to have children. And of course, maybe you can meet that special white woman who's not a feminist, who's not they're probably still out there, but they're unicorns. But like I said again, if you take away the children thing and you're a white man, do I recommend Asian women? I actually do. I just think the way, and I could say this because I've usually only dated 2 women in my whole life. In the West, it was mostly white women, and then obviously in Asia. So I can't say I'm an expert, at least those. Other ethnic groups I really haven't ventured that much into, Indian, Black, or Arab, not. So I can do a good comparison with white women and Asian women. How do Asian women treat white men compared to white men? Oh my God, it's so much better. It's not even comparable. But I would not have kids with them. That's my warning. Don't have kids with them.
これですかね。じゃあみんな覚えておいてください。
いっぱい愛してくれそう。
I love you 言ってくれたりとか。
あ、そう。一番に考えてくれそう。思います。
文化が気になるからです。
外国人の男性の方がなんかレディーファーストでなんかめっちゃ優しくしてくれそうっていうイメージが。
ご自身が思う一番レディーファーストな行動は何ですか？
おごってくれる。
いっぱいおごってもらいたいですね。
はい。思います。
I don't know. And again, I can only speak for me. I've yet to pay for any meals. I don't pay any money. When you're a white guy in Asia, just to be with an Asian woman, it's in many ways, you hear these white women who say, I'm the prize. You hear that, I'm the prize. And in a traditional society, they are the prize. But we don't live in a traditional society where they're not the prize. They have stinky pussies and bad attitudes. Let's just keep it real simple. They have stinky pussies, meaning they have had sex too much time. They're not virgins. And they have bad attitudes like this feminism. I'm sorry, you're not the prize. In a traditional society, you are a prize. Guess what it is in Asia? If you're a white man, you're the prize. Don't think so? There's billions of other Asian women that go net. You're the prize. And so you feel that way. So a lot of these white women say, you got to go to Asian, you got to spend money to get Asian women. I don't know. Never my case. If there's 99% of the time, if there's been a money flow, it's been from them to me. Now, of course, if you get poor Asian girls, which are easy to get, they're not going to give you money, but they don't expect you to spend money on them. And this whole thing like, no, they're only after you because they want a passport. Again, I'm living proof. It just, that wasn't my case. I'm also different too because I could speak the Chinese language. So that creates a different sort of element of community. So I don't know, it could be. But I'm telling you, for me to get Asian girls, zero money, zero passport, zero marriage, zero chivalry. I'm just a fucking white dude and that's it. Case closed and I'm in.
食事の時に肉切ってくれたりとかですかね。
ドア開けてくれたりとか、ナチュラルにこう気遣いしてくれるのが
思います。海外の人の方が紳士的だからこうドアを開けてくれたり。
ドアを開けてくれる男性にキュンとしますか？
あ、します。
イケメンやったら付き合ってみたいと思います。
ぽっちゃりでもいける。
ビッグガールが好きという。
グラマラス。
怖いってイメージがあります。私は。
どういう風にですか？
なんか伝わるんかなみたいな言葉が私が英語とか分からへんからそういうのが伝わるんかなっていう怖さが。
Yeah, so we're not going to do the whole video, and I think that's another video on getting Asian girls. But the language issue, if you're around the bigger cities, and again, I'm not a Japan expert, but I've been to Japan many times. And if you're around Tokyo, the English is pretty good. I wouldn't recommend China now. China's changed. There was a time where Beijing, I'm in Hong Kong. Hong Kong's cool. Hong Kong is still cool. Singapore. I think that's another video I'll do if you're interested in how to get Asian girls, but you don't need to know the Asian language. Will it help? Yes. I think without a doubt, you're in a different category. But if you don't know the Asian language, a lot of there's going to be Asian girls you're not going to be able to get. They can't speak English, you can't, and so it's going to be awkward. So you're probably going to be relegated mostly in the bigger cities like, Bangkok, Thailand, or there's other cities in Thailand too. I've been to Thailand many times and I don't speak the Thai language, but I get around okay with English. But anyway, it's another story. But if you're a white guy and you're in Asia, you should be doing at the very minimum okay or better. Okay or better. Anything below, something's wrong. Let's go with the Japanese. These people talk about mix. I'm telling you, in Japan, it's the same way. They look at these mixed kids. They don't look at them as Japanese.
その国籍って観点で言うと、ハーフの人たちが、世界陸上に出てる人とか結構黒人とのミックスの人とかが活躍してたりもすると思うんですけど、すごい違和感がある、いいっていうのはちょっと言いづらいんですけど。
オリンピックとかだったらちょっと思うところはありますね、なんか。日本の選手なのに日本人じゃないと確かに、あれってなることはありますね。
ありますか？
それはありますね、確かに。
やっぱり日本人の民族。
海外の方だなとは思います。壁がないと言ったら嘘ですよ。
日本のパスポートが便利だからですよ。別に日本が好きだからそういうのじゃない。自由が欲しいからっていうロジック。日本大好き、日本人になりたい、日本のために貢献したい、なんだって言えますよ。スパイだったらね。だから一律で入れるべきじゃないんですよ。
俺は2つ持ってて OK だと思う。OK ですか。日本にずっと住んでればね。それで一定条件、無条件ってわけにはいかないだろうけどね。中国っていうところはまだ聞かないね。
聞かないですか。
I don't believe at all that your ethnicity is like strictly tied with your nationality. For me, it's like I am Japanese, but my hair is dyed. I mean, I speak English a lot. They could perceive me as more non-Japanese side, even though I do have a Japanese nationality.
There is no such thing as pure Japanese. We are mixed blood. I live in a place called Itoshima in Fukuoka Prefecture. It was really an international place here 2,000 years ago. Chinese people from Yangtze River and also Korean people lived here.
Yeah, don't let them fool you when they say this bullshit. There's not pure. If you go to Japan, if you go to China, if you go to South Korea, etc., they all look like cheeky chinks in a positive way. So this whole thing of diversity, you have no clue. I mean, their version of diversity isn't our version of diversity. And we're talking the negative. When we think of diversity, and yeah, negative, you got blacks, you got whites, you got Indians, you got Asians, like a total toilet bowl. That's what we're looking at diversity. Their diversity is, well, I'm 75% Japanese, but I've got 20%. Because they do have what's called local ethnic groups that are Asian, or I'm 10% Thai. They're all Asians. It's like going to Europe and saying, wow, in terms of the pure Europe, and saying, look at the diversity. Germans, French, we're talking white people, white German, white French, white Italian. Wow, look at that diversity. That's what they're looking at diversity. We would think, dude, they're all a bunch of white Europeans. That's just great. That's not. Their view of diversity is it's just on a different level than what we're used to diversity. Our diversity is non-whites.
Are the result of mixing those people, and that the Meiji Restoration, Western influence came and then created New Japan. Without those things, current Japan does not exist. Japanese people are already mixed. Even if Japan or Japanese government would like to close totally and then say we are the pure Japanese, that makes no sense. Japan was never pure Japanese, and Japanese people are not pure. Japan is already facing a situation where you have to import people from outside.
On this debate, one thing everyone I talk to agree with is that whether or not Japan's gonna officially recognize it, preserving the Japaneseness and the culture is essential. It's such a precious asset and too important to lose. But the question is, can we maintain the culture and identity while accepting dual citizenship?
We have to preserve Japanese culture and to preserve our national identity, right? From a cultural perspective, I completely understand why people are against the idea of dual citizenship. Of course, I acknowledge that. But economically speaking, it's kind of critical at this point, right? The aging population, and the need for labor.
They really need to have a strong Japanese core because Japan still needs to stay Japan. And to change that, I think, is a concern that I have. I have a son here who's half Japanese and half American, and I want him to grow up in a Japan that is Japanese, but also understand that his background being half American can also become a real asset to Japan by understanding other systems. He can help to grow new jobs or new opportunities as well for those out in the countryside who probably have never traveled abroad at all. Trying to improve the economy while trying to maintain the core of what Japan is the greatest.
All right, we'll do it. Hey, Shane, I see you. Thanks for joining. Let me just, again, I hear this stuff and I give it to Japan. Like I said, I like Japan. I focused on China for many reasons. It was just more my passion. I could go into it, but Japan is a really nice culture, and they are willing to take a hit on their economy as opposed to allowing immigration. Again, I did an exchange at the Japanese Military Academy when I was at West Point, and they allowed me to tour. Now this is years ago, obviously, but I still traveled to Japan like years ago on business trips. It's basically a monoculture and a homogenous country. You couldn't tell. Now, there could be other Asian people in there that you didn't know, like, there could be Chinese people, there could be Koreans there could be Vietnamese, and you didn't realize them, and they're like, oh, I thought you were Japanese. No, I'm actually from South Korea. But the point being is how hard is it to find non-Asian people in Japan? It's pretty difficult, very difficult. Very similar to China. Like I said, if you're not, and China has changed now, most of the Westerners, a lot of them have left Shanghai or Beijing. China's just closed down. But even back in the day when I was mostly in Beijing and also in Shanghai, those are really the only two cities where you could kind of find white people or foreigners. Once you left those cities, there's none. So don't fool yourself, because I do hear this bullshit propaganda sometimes when Asian people, they say, we are multicultural and diversity, and no, you're not. Maybe we all have different levels, but their level of diversity compared to what we know diversity in America or the West, it is apples and oranges, not even close. Okay, let's just do the last video here. Another mixed girl, horrible. These girls are horrible.
Let's sit down and have a little discussion about this, because I think this is a very prevalent thing, and yeah, I want to talk about it. So I've pretty much grown up in a small town where there's like majority white people, and I also live in a neighborhood where there's majority white people. So I think as a result, I just ended up dating white guys or gravitating gravitating towards white guys because that's what I'm most familiar with. I remember the first guy I ever dated, he's half white and half Hispanic, but his dad was like a white cop. And I remember when his dad found out that I'm part Asian, he was like, "Oh, does she look exotic?" Like, second guy I dated was white, and I remember one time he made this comment. He was like, "My little Asian," or he was like, "You're my Asian," and I was like,
Trust me, these Asian girls, Goo Goo and Gaga, don't even think, like, obviously, we all know there's words that you say in public and there's words you say in the bedroom. But have I purposely demeaned Asian women in the bedroom, call me? Absolutely. Do they like it? Absolutely. She's playing, I mean, she's a young girl, so she's immature. So she's not being full truthful, but she enjoys this with white men. She enjoys being exotic because whatever she could get to be in the white man's favor, because that's what she wants to get as a white man, she'll be fine. But same thing, think about it. She looks at her mom, and what is her mom? Well, who did her mom choose? A white man. So she's like, "Mom, you chose a white man. I want to get a white man too." Again, I've seen so many of these cases. One of these days, I'm going to be wrong with an anomaly because there's always anomalies. There's going to be an Asian girl that's going to like a mix says, "No, I actually like a black man." Or no, I actually chose to honor my Asian culture and I chose an Asian man. There's always going to be these anomalies, but until I see them, it's like 99% the same thing over and over again.
"What the fuck?" And I remember I was really horrified because basically he had been secretly fetishizing me the entire time without me knowing. But anyway, that was like a horrible relationship. Anyway, but still. Okay, and then after that, I dated like a couple Asian guys, and then after that, I dated like a white guy. And to be perfectly honest, I feel like in American media, you're almost conditioned.
Interesting. I have not seen this video yet. I haven't seen it. Sometimes I get these videos. So she said she did. I'm going to see what she says in the end. What is my money on again? White men. We're at the casinos. 99% of the time, where do you place your bets when it comes to an Asian woman? You put it on white men. We'll see what he said. Like I said, I haven't seen this whole video.
To like white guys because if you look at, I don't know, like movies or TV shows, I feel like there's always this pairing of white guy with woman of color, or, you know, and it's never like.
Yeah, that's because the Hollywood is probably run by the Jews, and the Jews want to push this interracial thing. But yeah. So I hope you understand that's not been done because now I'm sure white men, don't get me wrong, if it's a mistress, if it's a sex friend, if it's a fuck friend, I get it. We like exotic stuff. But I'm telling you, you show me a picture of a beautiful white woman, I mean, just drop dead gorgeous. It's not even close. So hopefully she's not retarded, and she should understand that this mixing in Hollywood, that is a political agenda. Because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, and I see it too in Asia, a lot of the white guys too have told me they wanted to get white women, or at least we'll say beautiful white women, but they can't get them for a variety of reasons. It's tough. These white women now, their standards are higher and higher. So these white men are like, well, I could either be an incel my whole life, meaning trying to get white women, or sometimes they admit it, or it's basically what they're saying, they've lowered their standards. And now they're with a gook. So hopefully this girl understands that this is a political agenda on Hollywood mixed up. Because at the end of the day, most white men give them a beautiful blonde bombshell, they're going to take a white woman.
Like people of color with people of color. I think it takes a lot of self-introspection, reflection, and personally me, I'm abstinent, to kind of think about your dating habits, you know, why there's certain patterns and like what causes these kind of patterns. It takes a while to kind of like uncondition yourself from liking one race more than the other, and I would say I'm attracted to all races, but definitely like maybe I had a preference towards white guys because that's the kind of.
I haven't even seen this video. I'm telling you, if I go into casinos, I could place blind bets. Asian woman, my bet's on the white man. And they always like to say white men have an Asian fetish. No, I've said it before. I think a lot of white men are with Asian women unless it's a mistress. Again, I get the exotic mistress, but I still think, I've always said this, if you see a white man with an Asian woman, we're talking married or girlfriend, you know, whatever, a couple, 90% of those white guys are with her because they can't get, for lack of a better word, high status, beautiful, whatever you want to call it, white women. They might be able to get a fat, ugly white woman, but they can't get, and they want it. They're like, man, I'd love to get a fucking smoking white woman. I can't get her, so I'm going to get a gook. 10% of white guys, a great example would be what was it, Prince Harry? He's a type of guy, I consider Prince Harry a good-looking guy. He's a prince, he's rich, whatever. Let's face it, he could have probably gotten almost any woman on the planet. And he chose a Negro, another one of these half-breeds. She's a Negro, that's how she is. Why did he do it? I don't know, but he could. That's the percentage of white men with Asian women. About 10% of white men with Asian women can get, for lack of a better word, a high status white woman, but they really like Asian. Now, I'm the type of guy, I did a master's degree in Chinese studies. I'm fluent in the Chinese language. So you would think I'm still not. I still would take a beautiful white woman any day. I'm still not in that 10%. I still look at a beautiful white woman. Again, we're saying beautiful. We're not talking ugly. As the most beautiful woman on this planet. So again, going back to this about the betting, but Asian women wanting white men, by now, like I said, don't believe this bullshit called, what is it called? The yellow fever or the Asian fetish. No, it's the opposite. Or it's the same thing like jungle fever, like, man, white guys are chasing black women. Are you smoking drugs? White men don't chase black women. Onesies or twosies. And that's why, but we'll do a video, that's why white men marrying to black women have the lowest divorce rate. Why? Because black women know they won the lotto. They won the fucking lotto because they are the least attractive women on this planet, paired with white men, the most attractive men on this planet. Boom. And they know they got it good. At least an Asian girl, everybody wants to fuck Asian girls. I mean, black guys like them, Indian guys like them. So Asian girls, I've always said, Asian girls in some ways, their superpower over white women are, they're never going to be more beautiful than white women, but there's more, it's kind of this, like if you it's like the curve in Harvard we study between men and women. It's the same thing, white woman and Asian women. It's the same curve. White women, there's more beautiful white women and there's more ugly white women. But Asian women, there's less really attractive Asian women, but there's less ugly. Like they all look the same to me. I mean, it's just not, they all look kind of like we say in Chinese, chabudo. Nah, like chabudo. Nah, chabudo. Chabudo. The English version would be, I don't know what the English, it's like, okay. They're all fuckable. But white women are different. There are some ugly, fat white women that, oh my God, nope, can't do it. But you take the beautiful white women and put them up against beautiful Asian women, no way, not even close. But anyway, let's go back to this Gookie.
I think I was conditioned. Honestly, super sus of white guys now though, because it's like, do you see me, like, do you like me, or do you see me as something that's exotic, right? Because despite me being half white, I don't necessarily look super white, so it's like, in the eyes of, like, white people, I'm not white. And
I don't know. Here's the part about condition. Her mom is probably from Asia. So who conditioned her in Asia? I mean, like I said, if you go around the world, the most attractive, sought after men and women are white people. I guess they're all being conditioned by Hollywood, whatever. I mean, I could go into, then it is what it is. Whoever it's conditioned, the facts are the facts. And I'm telling you, white men and white women are the most highly sought after. So I want to end it here because I want to bring it together because I'm telling you, these mixed kids are the fucking worst. And I'm telling you, this is why it's an abomination. These kids are abominations. I know them. I know some of these mixed kids, if they see me, they're like, really? I'm telling you, because at the end of the day, even the children don't know who they are, meaning there is no such thing as a mixed race class. Even she is going to say, well, I'm white, but they don't accept me for white. Nah, fuck. I guess I got to be a gook. So it's you're either Asian or you're a gook, or you're an Asian or you're a white. You got to be in one or the other. Even society, we even look at people like, well, what race are you? I'm interbreed. I don't know what that. What's an interbreed? You're mixed. Yes, I'm mixed. Okay, what mix? So even society, even mom and dad, even our government with affirmative action, we don't recognize this new race. Even in nature, there are, for instance, have you ever heard a liger where a lion and a tiger can interbreed? The problem is that third race, they're called ligers, lion, tigers, lion, they cannot reproduce. They're abominations. And what do I mean by that? Because forget society, forget mom and dad, forget Hollywood, go to the actual people and say, listen, you are a new race. You're not white, you're not Asian or black, you are a new race. Guess what they'd say? I don't want to be that. I want to be part of these races. So as much as it's like, I don't want to do so much apples and oranges. No matter how much you force boys to be girls or girls to be boys, they want to gravitate back toward their gender. We know gender is real. No, I'm going to have a boy and I'm going to dress him up with pink and I'm going to force him to play with dolls. I have a girl, I'm going to dress her with blue and I'm going to make her, play with guns and hunting. Good luck. But culture is strong, there's no doubt. But that DNA will eventually be back. I want to be a girl and I want to be a boy. The same thing with his race. They're going to look and they say, listen, we all want to fit in. Say, Dad, what am I? Well, you're 10% Hispanic, 5% Asian, you got 5% black. Dad, what the fuck am I? I don't know. Dad, I got to find. It's like going, has anyone heard about the prison group? When you go into prison, you're going to be put in a racial group. That's kind of how we are. So the point being is mixed races are so good. They're so cool. Then why is it that forget society, forget the parents, forget the friends who want you to be categorized in a race, forget that. Actually talk to the people and say, do you want to be categorized in a race or do you want to be in this new hyperbreed race? They'd say, no, I want to belong. I want to be white or I want to be Asian or I want to be African. And there you go. It goes right back to nature. And I've seen it. The reason I get along best with I got to admit, some of the best people I like are the Beijingers. I'll do another story about the honky conkies, the Hong Kongers. We call them the honky conkies, the Singaporeans. Weird stories. But I would say in China, the highest level of nationalism is Beijing. I actually like Beijing the best. And when you talk with the Beijingers, they have the highest level to say, I am Chinese. I am Asian. And they have the highest level to be proud of who they are. The good, the bad, they're Asian. And they say, you are a Laowa, you're a foreigner, you're white, you're a white American, which is basically an American. And what I mean by that is we know our places. They know who they are, which I accept. They're not doing what's called cultural appropriation. They're not trying to be like me. Notice women don't like that when men try to be like women. And trust me, men, I don't like when women try to be like men. So here we are in Beijing. They're the best. I like dealing with them best. They know who they are, and they don't want to be me. I know who I am, and I don't want to be that. As much as the Chinese that I study, it's more just to be a student. And I've said many times, you should learn. But I'm not trying to be Chinese. That was not my goal. That's not my mission. I just wanted to learn Chinese, learn their traditions and cultures. But my identity is who I am. I don't even like to say white American because technically American is white. That's who we are. I know we got a little diversity with immigration, but generally speaking, America, and this is also what the Chinese tell me too, America's white. So I have my identity, they have their identity. And because of that, we're able to work together in more harmonious. Very similar to a man and a woman. I'm a man, I know my place. Don't fucking come here as a woman. You're a woman, you know your place. As long as you know your place and I know my place, we can work together. And it's sort of that. You have respect. Don't step into my space and I don't step into your space, but let's work together. And then I've had a lot of dealings because I'm telling you, the white man and the Asian women it's not just in Asia, it's fucking even in the West. This is the number one mixed group. And those mixed kids are the fucking worst. Why? Because I look at them and generally speaking, they look Asian, but they don't want to be Asian. They want to be white. When I break the bad news to them, like, well, you look Asian to me, then they get pissed off. And personally, I don't like them trying to be me. I'm an American. I'm like you. I'm a white American. No, you're fucking not. It's like a woman saying, I'm a man. No, get back in your fucking place. And this is where these mix, because if mixed kids were so cool, it's so, again, this is psychology 101. Try to think in that metaphysical realm where you're thinking, if it was the right answer, then why is it, regardless of society's pressure, mom and dad's pressure, look at the children. They don't even want to be in an independent mixed breed category. They don't. They want to fit in. They want to say, no, I am white, I am this. And if you wanted to do that, and the parents do that, and society does that, then why the fuck are we doing mixed kids? Then why? Because I've never met any of these mixed kids that are like, no, I don't want to be Asian. I don't want to be white. I'm mixed. And I'm my own race, and I want to interbreed with my own mixed race people, and we want to form a country and a society. It never happened. I've never met any of these. And I'm telling you, to any of these parents know how much trouble and pain and problems and stress it is raising kids. Having mixed children is another fucking hardship that's just going to be a pain in the ass for you. And that goes in everything, to even religion, going back to J.D. Vance. If you're a Christian, find a woman who's a Christian. If you're a Hindu, but meaning you're going to have enough stress as it is in your family unit. You don't want to have too much diversity. We are finally, hopefully, learning in the West that this diversity is our strength was communist propaganda. For lack of a better word, communist propaganda. We are drowning with diversity, and our country is falling apart because of diversity. Your family unit is your own little country that you, as the man, as the president, the leader, are going to do as best you can to keep it functional, in shape, positive, afloat. And having those mixed kids is just another problem in there where you're going to say, fuck. Because you wanted mixed kids so much, which was, and you probably just couldn't get a white woman, so you got horny and you boned an Asian girl. That's how it usually is. They bone an Asian girl and then like, fuck, I guess we're having kids, whatever. But anyway, when the kids come about, they don't want to be interbred. They want to be part of the white or the Asian. They can't be that. Just like the kid was crying, he doesn't want to be brown. Remember the video with the Mexican? 9 times out of 10, these mixed kids don't want to be the non-white. Remember, what is it, Meghan Markle? She's mixed. I guarantee if you asked her, does she want to be with the white people or the black people? She's going to be, I'm fucking white. She goes, I identify as white. I'm white. I want to have white kids. I want a white husband. I want a white passport. I don't want anything to do with it. But a guy like me is going to look at Meghan Markle, and you want to know how I'm going to piss her off? I know it. I will piss her off just by saying, oh, so you're African American. And so you look black to me. I categorize you as black. And you're going to know how much disdain she has for African people because she doesn't want to be, she wants to be white. And I see it all the time with the mixed kids with Asian. All I have to do is speak Chinese to them, and they get pissed off. Because when I speak Chinese to them, I'm confirming to them that you're Asian. And they'll go right back in English, say, I'm an American, okay? I'm not Chinese, I'm not Asian. Well, you're Asian, right? Well, my father's white, I'm white. You look Asian to me. It doesn't work. If you think I'm wrong, have your mixed kids and have fun. But I'm telling you, the reason why we have an opinion, because you have mixed kids, it doesn't just affect you and your wife. It affects society. They have a citizenship. It does affect our society. And it's one of the reasons that the West is going down. Because if you think this interbreeding stuff is happening in non-Western worlds, you are out of your mind. It is so much pushed on the West, because 99% of the time when we're talking mixed, it's with white, black and white and Indian and white and Asian, white. And it is one of the reasons our countries in the West are falling apart. Why? Because we cannot use common sense and say one simple phrase: race is real. It's as real as day. And if you want to be a European, you got to be white. And who formed America? Who were our founding fathers? They were European, which means white. And if we're going to lose that whiteness, then we're done. And I'm telling you, the mixed kids are the worst. Let me just go to any comments here. I see Sparring, force women to champ breed kids and not import Trump. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. David Baumblatt from Terrabent Leadership. Like I said, when it's time to have kids, find yourself a nice white woman. If you're not interested in having kids, you're not doing that, then yeah, I guess so. Yeah, have fun with some non-white women. Learn from them. I've learned a lot from Asian women. I have. For as much as I learned from them, they've learned from me, and you learn, I could tell you. But for me personally, where I definitely draw the line, though, is with kids. I say again, when you're having kids, it goes past the phrase, well, two consenting adults. Now it's kids. It affects society because those kids are going to have a passport. They're going to have a nationality. It affects the greater good, the greater society. And that's the time I'm telling you, don't go for mixed kids. There's a lot of information that is published because it would be politically incorrect. There's a lot of problems that come with being a mixed kid for the parents, for societies, for the mixed kids themselves. Why? Because they lack the identity. And they love to identify as being white, but then guys like me say, nah, you don't look white to me. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be a nigger. I don't want to be a gook. Listen, that's not my problem. Why? You should stop being racist. Asian people are good. African people are good. It's not my problem you're racist, but I'm sorry, you're not white, and they fucking hate it. I'll tell you, you could tell, I have a lot of experience with mixed kids, worst fucking kids, I'm telling you, not into it. Anyway, David Baumblatt from Terrabent Leadership. I appreciate the support of the Patriots. In the meantime, go find a nice, beautiful white woman, make some babies. Lead to victory.